The idea of doing a third one was so insane because when we did the first one, never did Todd Phillips and Zach and Ed and I sit there as contemplating, how we were going to wind up the story that started with a naked man's balls on my neck. How are we going to turn this into a trilogy? So it was so crazy, the fact that we're making a third one. But at the same time, I would make 8 of them because Todd's an incredible director. I mean, he kind of is the best at what he does. And Zach and Ed are, they're incredible. So for me, it was a no-brainer. In the beginning of 3, you basically are finding these guys in the aftermath of 2, which is Stu is now married, and it is in real time. So that we shot that movie a year or 2 years ago, and it's been 2 years. And Phil has a couple more kids. But Alan he's in dire straits. His father just passed away, and you see that in the beginning of the movie. And now that anchor's gone, he was unleashed as it was, but now it's almost unharnessable. For a true fan of the first one especially, the third one is like an investigation of every moment of the first one, and dissecting it and elaborating it and shining a light on all these very little things that we glance by in the first one. This one to me feels almost like the first one, the shooting of it. It feels like we've an amazing script, but we're also loose with it, and a lot of in-between moments are filled with a lot of humor, I think, that Zach and Ed come up with. The collaboration is working on such a communal level, more so than the first and second one, which felt very communal. But we definitely, there was always a sharing of jokes and a sharing of ways to do things. But now it's even more. Now it's done without any politeesse at all. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's almost like, why don't you just do it this way? Or we'll say to each other without saying like, I'm sorry, but what if, now it's just, everybody just says exactly like, do you think, maybe try this? And it's wonderful. I mean, there's just so much love and respect and comfort that it almost feels like we're all telling the story together. And there is no just Alan, or Stu or Phil without Todd, Zach, me, and Ed, which is a very fun thing to be a part of the other characters' work as well. Oh my gosh, yeah, Ken Jeong has a major part of this third movie, and the lovers of Mr. Chow are going to get their fill, and so they should, because in the first 2 movies he was like the most popular character, and people love him, and it's great to see him and Ken get such an opportunity in this one to really just sort of take it to another level. This movie now is like, we're back and we've taken all of those things, and it's rugged and brutal and massive. I mean, there's parachutes, flying around Vegas at night. There are huge animals in small automobiles. There are a lot of crazy things going on, and it all is kind of grounded. But the cool thing is, I don't think it ever comes from a place where Todd and Craig Mazin thought, let's outdo the second and first one. It is sort of a self-contained unit of, let's just tell a good story. The ones that have lived on and had a legacy, to me, always come from a specific place and point of view. That I know for sure this movie has, because it all comes from Todd Phillips' point of view, which is very specific and personal. And I think that's where the best stories are born from.